Teeth update. Wow, that hurt my eyes. Oh my god. Yeah, they're so straight now. Hey, it's Lena and welcome to my channel. I finally got makeup brushes so I can blend my makeup better so that I don't look like how I did in my last video. Am I the a-hole for sleeping with my sister's husband? Huh? I never understood how people could cheat, let alone go for a family member after already having a family member. Girl, let me just read. I, 29 female, find myself in a complicated and difficult situation. I wonder why it's complicated and difficult. That has strained my relationship with my sister, 31 female. I recently slept with her husband. What a loaded sentence. And now she refuses to speak to me. However, I genuinely believe that I'm not solely to blame for the fallout, and I need an impartial judgment on whether I'm the a-hole in this scenario. Well, so far off the bat, yes, but let's have you speak your case. Prior to the incident, I noticed some questionable behavior in my brother-in-law, 33 male, towards me. Feeling concerned about my sister's well-being, I decided to address the issue with her. However, she dismissed my concerns, leaving me unsure of how to proceed. My sister works as a flight attendant and is gone more than she is at home. My brother-in-law recently lost a job and was feeling depressed. During one of her frequent absences from home, she asked me to keep her husband company. She trusted me and didn't believe the warnings that I gave her before about his behavior towards me. But I saw this as an opportunity to support their marriage and help them rebuild their connection. When you say warnings about his behavior towards you, like, were you attracted to him too? Clearly you were. Like, how did it escalate to you sleeping with your sister's husband?
If 2 + 2 is 4, right? And 5 + 5 is 10, okay. What the is this? I didn't see.
Unfortunately, as we spent more time together, our bond deepened, and we eventually crossed a line that should have never been crossed. We had both been drinking, and he was complaining to me about the troubles in their marriage, and how he hasn't been for a while. He was crying, and I decided to comfort him. One thing led to another, and we did the unthinkable. I woke up realizing the nature of what I did and immediately realized the nature of what had happened. We both were so intoxicated that we stupidly ended up falling asleep. Just sleeping? Or sleeping? I awoke to my sister screaming and hitting the both of us, screaming, "How could you do this to me? We're sisters, I trusted you!" She wouldn't even give me a chance to explain and kicked me out of the house. Now my sister refuses to speak to me. She has filed for divorce. Our parents are siding with her, saying that I violated every family moral. However, I believe that there are multiple factors at play here, and I am not the only one responsible for the breakdown of their marriage. Oh, so you did sleep with her husband? While I acknowledge my mistake, I feel like OP is really dimming an affair down. Not just an affair, a family affair, quite literally. Because it's not really a mistake, you're literally ruining everybody's life. I also question why my sister failed to address the issues in her relationship and why she left her husband in my care without setting clear boundaries. What boundaries do you need to not sleep with your sister's husband? That is the obvious. That is the obvious. That is why she didn't set those boundaries, because you don't do that. You don't do that. I do feel a sense of guilt and remorse for my actions, but I also recognize that my sister and her husband had their fair share of problems. It's unfair to place all of the blame on me when there were underlying issues that existed long before our involvement. Jada Pinkett Smith. Oh, so no, that was entanglement. It's still very much giving Jada Smith. That being said, I understand my sister's anger and hurt. I'm willing to accept responsibility for my actions and make amends, but I also believe it is crucial for her to acknowledge her role in this situation. Rebuilding trust and repairing our relationship will require open and honest communication from both parties. In sharing my story, I hope for an unbiased judgment and guidance on how to navigate this difficult situation. Am I the a-hole for sleeping with my sister's husband? Yes. I don't even know why this is up for debate. Yes, you are the a-hole for sleeping with your sister's husband. You shouldn't even think about cheating. And if you are in a relationship and you are having lustful thoughts about someone else, break off the relationship, and then go to the person. But you don't do it while you're already in a relationship with someone. The point is, yes, you're the a-hole. You should not even be asking whether you're the a-hole or not. You should be owning it up fully. How are you going to feel justification from taking advantage of a man clearly insecure about his failing marriage? Make it make sense. Your logic was their relationship was already failing, so your sister should take responsibility. Let me ask you a question using your own logic. Let's say your car is older and needs some work done. If I come up and steal your car, GTA style, and I total it, would you be at fault for the crash because the car was already failing? Or would it be me because I'm the one that took it and couldn't control the car and crashed? See how dumb that sounds? If it was failing, then your job was to help your sister get through this and guide her towards counseling or divorce. Instead, you guided your way into his pants. I think it's more to the story, and the more to the story is you had feelings for your brother-in-law for a while, and this drunk behavior made you act on it. Yes. You give off golden child energy in which you've rarely been held accountable. Oh, and if my comment wasn't clear enough, you're the a-hole. Deluded. Imagine having to be told by your sister not to sleep with her husband. Sorry, OP, but you can't blame anyone else for this. Yes, exactly. If you need to be told that boundary, then I worry what else you are doing to the people in your life. You're the a-hole, you're a cheater, you should also get therapy, to be honest. If that's your mindset in life and how you view relationships, you need therapy. Am I the a-hole for leaving dinner early after my boyfriend's friend introduced me as the current one? I'm walking out, babes. Like, so my boyfriend, 31 male, 31? At that grown age, and his friends are talking like that? Him and his friends, probably. Because why else would his friend be so comfortable to say the current one? 31 male invited me to dinner with his old college group. Oh. One of his female friends, 30 female, who I've never met before, came late, looked me up and down, and then said, "Oh, so you're the current one." Cute. She wants to him. She wants to him. That's just her sizing you up, girl. Don't even worry about it. I was stunned. No one laughed. No one corrected her. My boyfriend kind of just chuckled awkwardly and changed the subject. I sat there in silence for another 20 minutes before excusing myself and leaving. I took an Uber home. He called me later and said I embarrassed him by making it a thing? Okay. It is a thing. It is a thing. You don't respect me enough to stand up for me. You didn't correct your friend. And you have a friend like that. Find someone else, girl. And that I should have just been chill because she didn't mean anything by it. You wanna f her. He wants me to apologize to her for walking out like a child. Am I the a-hole for not tolerating that kind of blatant disrespect? Weird people. Not the a-hole, now ex-boyfriend. Right? OP responded, haha, not yet, but it's definitely on the table. The whole situation opened my eyes to some things I've been brushing off for too long. If he can't stand up for me in something this obvious, what happens when it's something bigger? What happens when your parents die? Really big jump, right? I know that was a really big jump, but I'm just saying, how is he gonna handle that? You need to make sure that whoever you're choosing to be in a relationship with, for the long run, that they are your person, or else you'll end up like this. Plus, this friend is always going to be around. If you don't break up now, it's sure to happen sooner or later as this friend disrespects you more while he refuses to stand up for you. Their dynamic is probably the reason his relationships don't last. His relationships don't last. I'm trying to do a Kiwi accent. His relationships don't how do they say don't how do they say last? If you're a Kiwi, please tell me how you say his relationships don't last, okay? Thank you. Yeah, no, definitely not the a-hole. She wants to him, he wants to her. They have not gotten to it yet, but they will, and that's why his relationships never work out. So might as well quit all of this before that I feel like I need more blush. Sorry. I'm gonna add more blush. Is that alright with you? Okay, cool. Oh. Alright, thanks. I guess that'll work. My husband actually got me makeup brushes, and when I opened it, I said, look, babe, it came with a Chanel makeup bag thing. And he was like, really? That was a really good deal. Oh, God. I love my husband. Am I the a-hole for being honest about our honeymoon sex? My fiance and I'm 26 and he's 28, are taking an 8-day honeymoon in Brazil, which is where he's originally from. This trip has been in the works for a long time, and a few weeks ago, I learned that his parents were hoping to stop by and visit us during our honeymoon and even asked to stay with us. We have rented a 3-bedroom place near a beach for 2 of the nights. Ooh. I said absolutely not, and my husband agreed. He told them no, that it's because we want our privacy. His parents, who I have grown very close to, sent me a separate text asking, in a lighthearted way, I thought, if it was really a big problem and if I agreed with him. And I said yes, I did agree. His mom asked me why, and I was honest. I said I want to be able to be open and free with him without thinking about house guests, because it's your honeymoon. You guys are gonna fuck. She said, so this is about sex? I thought she was still being lighthearted, and I replied, if I'm being honest, I'm going to fuck his brains out in every room of that house. No response. Oh. So this has become a whole thing. My mother-in-law thinks I'm disrespectful. My father-in-law thinks I'm a sex monster of some kind. My husband thinks it was way too far of me. Am I the a-hole? Do I owe them an apology? No, not the a-hole. Girl, it's your honeymoon. You guys need your time. You guys need your time. You just got married. They need to respect that. That I know that, you know, they want to see their son. Of course, what parent doesn't want to see their children? But like, they could go to them. Like, let it be on their terms instead of your terms, because this is their honeymoon. And what happens on honeymoons? The birds and the bees. And they should know, because that's how they had their son. Not the a-hole. I think it's hilarious, and I probably would have done the same thing. Your fiance needs to be the one to put his foot down. It seems like the parents have the impression that you're the bad guy who needs to be won over. And I'm sure your fiance has deflected enough to make it seem like that to them. Also, how weird? Why would anyone want to go on someone else's honeymoon? Whoa. Am I the a-hole for giving my friend a hand? What? What do you mean? He, 22 male, told me, 20 female, he's in love with me 2 months ago. I told him I'm dating someone and he took it okay. We are still friends. What happened is my boyfriend cheated on me. I wanted to get revenge on him and asked my friend if I could give him a hand and blow, then send a video to my BF. He was very upset, accusing me of trying to use him. I wasn't though. I thought it would be a mutually beneficial thing. Are you demented? What the fuck? What goes through people's heads? There's other ways to live your life, guys. Do you know that? I slept over at his place that night and started him down there when he was asleep. When he woke up, he was livid. He called me self-centered and told me I should be ashamed of myself. Hasn't replied to my messages in 3 days now. You just
Sod.
Your ex-friend now. That is a crime. That's a crime. And he was right to call you self-centered, because only someone self-centered would think, oh, like, it's okay, I'm gonna get him off and he's gonna come to my hands. Like, he's gonna love it. He's gonna love it. What is wrong with you? Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. That's You're not just an a-hole, you're an offender. Why would you think that's okay? That's never okay. Never. Asking it was already like, oh, like, no. He was already mad. But then doing it, you seriously do need to go to jail. Someone else replied, yeah, imagine role was reversed and he put his hand down there while you were asleep. You would 100% be saying you were assaulted, justifiably. It works both ways too. Exactly. Like, that's so weird. People are so weird. Ugh. Shut up. Am I the a-hole? Grandma gave my son herpes. Grandma! Am I the a-hole? Let's start from the beginning. My husband, 34 male, and I, 31 female, have the only grandchild on his side of the family. His mom, my mother-in-law, has always been a lot. From crying the day before our wedding to saying crap like I'm just not warm and fuzzy enough for her. Okay. Alright. I've tried my best to be as welcoming as possible and bend over backwards for this woman. Tension definitely increased when they decided to move states and bought a house 10 minutes from us. Oh my god, amazing. How wonderful is that? Oh my god, you gave my son herpes. My son, 3.5 months, welcome to Earth, little man, is the center of his grandma's universe. It used to be my husband, complained for years that he abandoned her when he moved out, and to be fair to her, she has been incredibly helpful with my son, taking him to doctor's appointments, helping him out when he's sick, watching our dog when he's in the hospital, and so on. My son has an immunocompromised system that comes with a lot of health issues, receives infusion monthly, and so on. Oh. My mother-in-law has herpes simplex virus, or more commonly known as fever, blisters, / cold sores. We, my husband and I, have had over 8 different chats with my mother-in-law that she is not to have her mouth anywhere near my son's skin. No kissing, sharing straws, utensils, etc. She has broken this rule multiple times. Too many to count. Each time met with another chat from my husband and I. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago, she comes over with an active open cold sore and gives him a raspberry on the cheek. I immediately said something, but sure enough, 3 days later, my son wakes up inconsolable and complaining of lip pain. Oh, he's not 3.5 months, he's 3.5 years old, male. Okay, I'm with the story now. In the next 2 days, it was very clear he now has herpes simplex virus. I mean, basically all of the population has it, but like, I totally get it, girl. We got testing with this specialist to see, and yep, it's HSV. Now, I'm no dummy. I know 60% of the population has it, and he could have gotten it later in life from a friend or such, but that isn't what happened. He got it in a completely avoidable way. Not to mention, for those that are immunocompromised, the sores tend to be worse, more painful, and can cause serious health complications. So we tell my mother-in-law in a non-angry way. The next day, she shows up unannounced at our house while my husband is working from home and lets herself in. So annoying. The entitlement is crazy. Demands to speak with him. He was in a meeting. And first off, refuses to take any responsibility. Says she kissed him on the neck and couldn't possibly be her fault. Meanwhile, I witnessed the whole thing happen. And it wasn't his neck. And even if it was his neck, we said no mouth on his skin. Well, my husband calmly tells her to leave because he is working and that we aren't ready to talk to her. I am just heartbroken for my son. Just another medical thing to add to his plate. More labs are now needed to monitor his organs for the rest of forever. He will have to deal with outbreaks throughout his whole life. Just everything that comes with HSV. Here comes the am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for wanting to completely cut ties with my mother-in-law and just focus on my little wonderful family I have? I am tired of her passive-aggressive behavior, and this was just reckless and selfish, to be honest. She has been incredibly helpful, but that does not excuse this behavior or allow her to put my son's health in jeopardy. She was told so many times, and she chose to act selfishly so many times. Just this time, her luck ran out. Not the a-hole, especially if your son has a weak immune system. Like, she should have been more conscious of that. She should have cared more about that. But no, like you said, she was selfish and careless and reckless, yeah. I mean, personally, I would cut ties too, but I know that some people would probably be like, no, like, you could still work it out. But I feel like people like that, especially when they're older, they just do things their own way and then leaves you to clean up after their mess every single time. So if you don't cut ties with your mother-in-law, things like this are just gonna constantly happen. I just don't see peace being in your life if you continue to talk to your mother-in-law. So Not the a-hole. Update! I really appreciate all the feedback, and I do completely agree I have some fault to claim for allowing the same thing to happen and only having verbal consequences / restating the rules. It's something I will carry with me. We have struggled without the extra help, had to work with him at home on days he is sick, and I have had to take off work on several occasions to make doctor's appointments, on top of all his other appointments that are planned. We basically have zero PTO left, but we are figuring it out the best we can. My husband has received several texts from mother-in-law basically saying, "Poor me, let me see my grandchild." So far, father-in-law showed up last month yelling at my husband saying, "You don't understand what this is doing to my mother-in-law, and we don't even know why we moved here." He then hinted at the fact that it was all my fault, and my husband very firmly shut him down, and then he stormed off. Good, throw your temper tantrum that way. And then today, mother-in-law shows up unannounced and tries to get into the house. My husband texts her and says he is working and has asked for space. She basically says she doesn't even know who he is anymore and is disappointed, etc. She then proceeded to call him several times and waited outside our house for 30 minutes until finally leaving. Insufferable. I am so happy we changed the door code. Strangely enough, my son has not once asked about his missing grandparents. We are honestly the ones struggling with our village no longer being there, but he hasn't seemed to notice at all. We are at a loss. This has kind of shaken us and we are just emotionally exhausted. The guilt I feel is overwhelming. I know I'm in the right, but it just feels so unnatural and it's killing me. I hate this whole situation and they just keep giving us more reasons to not reinitiate contact. That's all I have for now. Not the a-hole. She will never stop pushing boundaries and will never stop undermining your rules as your son's parents. Also, she's incredibly dense if she truly thinks giving someone a raspberry when you have an active HSV breakout on your lip won't give them herpes. You can literally get herpes anywhere. People get it on their fingers. She's a selfish idiot. Keep her away from your son. Why is she letting herself in? I mean, really, where are your boundaries about protecting your son? You are allowing this woman to run all over you because you are not enforcing any boundaries. Change the damn door lock. Tell her no means no. The fact that they continue to let her be around him after having to tell her more than once that she can't kiss him is wild. They're letting her walk all over them, and this was bound to happen. I am super close to my mom, and she wouldn't walk into my house unannounced. She needs to be cut off. But yes, guys, that was it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! You wanna f*** her.